of the examples is, according to Michael Listener, the first ever collision between two intact satellites in orbit. The collision, which occurred between Iridium-33 and Cosmo 2251 over Siberia. After the initial shock of the collision subsided, the finger pointing between the operators of the satellites in the United States and Russia began. So they waited 3 years. They did nothing about the collision. It's still in space. There's a bunch of space debris. And after 3 years, they're still pointing fingers, and right to this day on, they still hadn't cleaned up that space debris. So how can we trust America to do it, to clean up all the space debris in space? Because just that one tiny thing, and they're already pointing fingers. And if you're trying to make America clean up all the other space debris, there's just going to be a bunch of other pointing fingers, and that would just be a huge chaos. And also, for these reasons, we urge you to vote negative.
Timers ready?
Yes.
Judges ready?
Yes.
Opponents ready? 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow debaters and all judges, we will now summarize the most important reasons why the current win this debate. Our solvency is superior, as our plan does not only solve the problems that increasing space debris, but also problem of natural disasters, economic disaster, ISS risk, space pollution, deter space mission, expanding space colonization, strengthens the U.S. Air Force and space leadership of the U.S. And our inherency still stands because the evidence of space debris increasing was not manageable, was newer than their evidence stating that space debris was manageable, making our evidence superior. Our plan also turns our opponent's spending data as according to EMBO 2007, big scientists the basis to support innovative industry. They need highly qualified individuals to the leading edge of science and technology. It's critical as well-being of future nations. The economic development and opportunity of countries' citizens are dramatically affected by the strength and success of the research, as demonstrated by that nurture and promote the research universities. This shows that investing in science will benefit the economy and is critical to the future of nations, proving that if we do not adopt our plan, the economy of the U.S. government of the U.S. will fail. We have also termed our opponent's political DA, as we have already stated that. According to Center for American Progress 2012, investment in cornerstone of job creation, economic growth and investments in new science research, new factories, transportation infrastructure, and education health of our workplace contributes to growth by putting new technologies to work, lowering costs for business, and increasing the productivity of the competitiveness of American workers. The federal government have critical roles in playing the investment process. This shows that we have successfully turned our political DA, proving that our plan will be politically popular. We have taken on the topic of critique argument, as we have already stated that the federal government is a national government that expresses power. And also they have stated that in topicality that there are 3 branches of the U.S. federal government, that it limits their power, but that doesn't matter because the affirmative already claimed fiat power, claiming that the U.S. federal government, assuming that the U.S. federal government will adopt our plan. So my opponent said that our plan will cause weaponization and militarization, but we have already used evidence that says the involvement in the U.S. will prevent weaponization. My opponents also have evidence that talks about how that our plan will cause U.S. economy to collapse. We already used evidence that says our plan will save U.S. economy, as U.S. economy is already recovering. My opponents have stated that the EDD cannot solve, but it is just one type of technology that they're talking about. That they claim that will not solve space debris. But there are many other types of technology that we can use that they have not talked about. One of the most important reasons why we win is also the fact that opponents have contradicted themselves through this debate. They have used evidence that says status quo solves because that says already tracking space debris. But then they went back to and said that it is impossible for one country to track all space debris. My opponents also have said that U.S. have not taken care of any of their own debris, and that America is now pointing fingers saying that U.S. does not have the power to clean up their debris. But again, they have already stated that status quo solves, so they are contradicting themselves. And our inherency still stands because our evidence about space debris is increasing, it's not manageable, it's newer. I just wanted to repeat that, just to let you guys know that our inherency still stands, and our solvency still stands. Okay, for these reasons above, we the affirmative urge you to vote for us. Thank you.
2 and R. Eugene? Not 8 minutes.
Judges are ready. Yeah, I think it's you guys are. And then opponents are ready. Cameras are ready.
Yes.
Okay. First, I would like to ask for protection. And to clarify about the contradiction, they said that status quo means that we can already track, right? But we never said that it can track. A single country can also track. It's just that a single country itself cannot track. So if everyone cooperated, then they'll be able to track the debris together, and it will be basically what the status quo says. So we're not exactly contradicting ourselves. And then Huh?
Do you want to say the reasons why you win this case?
Okay. Well,
Enforce what Christy said.
okay. Christy said. Okay. Christy said that that America launched up to 441 satellites itself. It's almost half the amount of what the operating satellites are right now. And every time they launch a single satellite, there's always debris coming up because they have to abandon, like they have stages, and at each stage they have to dislocate. Yeah, abandon. Thank you. Abandon a piece of metal, and then it'll turn into debris, and it's also increasing the chance of other satellites crashing into them. And because of the 441, it means that they have this much. They have almost 441 amount of satellites to handle by clearing out the debris. They still haven't cleared out anything, and it's not within there. And 441 is almost. It has to take a long time before they can be able to clear every debris, and by that time, most of the time, it will already have enough debris outside that you can't even penetrate it or you can't even come back in. And yeah, therefore we urge you to vote for negative.
Was it two and a?
Yeah.
So one more left, right? Ready?
Judges, are you ready? But how long is it?
4
minutes.
7 minutes.
My bad.
Please use your louder voice.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow debaters and honorable judges, we will now summarize the most important reasons why affirmative wins this debate. First, we clean up space debris, and they don't have a counterplan to do so. Thousands of pieces of debris are orbiting the Earth. They collide with and destroy essential satellites, knocking out communications, and in turn creating even more junk. As the layer gets thicker, it's becoming more dangerous to launch satellites and send astronauts into space. Clearing the junk is going to be essential if we don't want to be cut off from space. Second, economy. We are on the brink of recession. Multiple trends mean that growth will slow but will never turn negative. Also, loss in satellites decreases the leadership of U.S. and causes global economic downfall. We have also turned their negative spending disadvantage by contributing to space removal activity. We also benefit the economy. Third, U.S. economy and military satellites. Affirmative plan will strengthen U.S. competitiveness. To sustain and improve its economic wealth strength, the United States must maintain its technological lead in the economic realm. To remain the preponderant world leader, U.S. economic growth must be enhanced by generating and using superior science and technology. Fourth, counterplan cannot get rid of affirmative clause, therefore they drop. Natural disasters lead to extinction. They drop. Space pollution deters space mission. And also they drop necessities, emergency avoidance procedures, debris destroy satellites and make us vulnerable to ASAT satellite. Weak U.S. leadership lead to nuclear war. And they also drop loss of satellites, cripple U.S. military, and collapse the global economy. And we have also successfully refuted their evidence of puts ISS at risk. And fifth, we have answered to the negative topicality, critique, and disadvantage, and we have successfully promoted their critique, but they have never refuted it. Lastly, negative failed to answer, therefore dropped. Debris will strike Earth. And they have also attacked our tracking of space debris as possible, but they don't have removal, because according to the evidence, they said that NASA is tracking it, but they don't remove it. Which is why the affirmative plan needs to do it in order to remove it. So we have successfully turned their energy. They also dropped expedite space colonization, expedite space elevator, and save human from natural disasters. And also stimulates the economy. And we have used this evidence to turn their spending disadvantage. They also dropped human civilization can spread far and wide in the Milky Way. Science leads to engagement and democracy. Expedites asteroid detection. Also, they have said in their heresy that NASA can track space debris, but as I already stated, they can only track, they can't remove, which is why our affirmative plan is in need. Also, they said that the three branches of the U.S. federal government have limited power, but that does not matter because the affirmative claims fiat power, meaning that we assume that the U.S. federal government will adopt it. And they said that status quo solves, but NASA is part of the U.S. federal government, thus they do contradict themselves. Also, they said that Russia shots up the most satellites, and they did not clean it, which is exactly why America needs to clean up the debris, otherwise it will keep on increasing. And also, solar activity causes the the breeze to ramp up closer to Earth, and it's more dangerous. And also, by America doing it, it will benefit the economy and encourage global cooperation between Russia and America. And America is the leader in space, which shows that only America has the capability without finger pointing to clean up the space debris. Also, they said that the U.S. are responsible for the significant amount of space debris that exists right now, but that isn't reinforcing the fact that U.S. should take responsibility and clean up debris that they have greatly contributed to. Honorable judges, please note that our advantages outweigh the negative disadvantages, and we have also refuted all the negative arguments of topicality. We permitted their critique disadvantages. And also our inherency still stands, but they said that they took out our whole inherency, but they only took out NASA does not have funding. We have successfully refuted space debris as increasing with newer evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, we therefore ask you to vote affirmative in order to maintain global stability, U.S. economy, and save the lives of humans. Thank you.
Done, right? The second one is going to be the same. The first couple of speeches 8 minutes and cut down 1 minute.
Alright, so you want to deliver?
So are you guys okay?
I'm still here.
Okay, you better. Alright.
Does you guys want to have a banana here? Which one you coming into a conclusion?
这个当 practice round。
What's your name? Sorry. Carol. 就是说你把这个当 practice round。然后用完放回去，一直找。No. Do you guys want to know who wins the affirmative?
I know.
Would you like to know the reason?
Do you want to go ahead and tell the reason?
Do you let them know why they
Do you guys want to give Harrison, the judges, the reason?
Debaters.
It was mostly because the negatives dropped most of the arguments that the affirmative made.
Yep.
No, but the affirmative stock issues are still up.
Like the affirmative stock issues are still standing, but the thing is, negative has a choice to not, like negative can drop anything that affirmative says, but it's just that you guys sounded more persuasive than But otherwise, like the point that you made of the negative dropping the cases, it doesn't really matter because they'll choose what to refute and what to. It's just that affirmative has a responsibility to not drop anything that negative says.
They're much stronger. Just
They're much more
persuasive and strong.
Oliver, you're judging?
Yes.
Alright.
No problem. Wait, give me.
Oh my god.
Why did you bring it? It's mine, man. No, it's mine. I gave it to him. I did it.
我写字也太丑了，2个都看。
I don't know who to pick. 其实我不知道我是谁。
You took my evidence.
That was my evidence.
那个
We're sharing it. Remember Byron? We're sharing it.
I need this.
This is Byron, though.
I need this.
Hey, bye.
I'm keeping this evidence.
好啊。
I needed it.
Hi, Eugene. Wow.